So this is the first part of our lecture today. And if you remember that we were talking about Express server in last session, we have talked about that we can create a server by using these lines of code. We have this app is listening to us. This app is basically is what we're expecting as a server. And then we talked about this app.get method, all important bread and butter method of this Express. So we say that on root, like on the root folder or the root path, you have this function running, which was just doing some console logging. We did console logging as well, and it was also sending this welcome to Express note and something like that. And then we talked about another route, which was about, and we said that if the user accesses this about route, what you have to do is that you will be just we'll be responding them with about us page in a bold format. And then we also talked about that dynamic parameter as well in URL. You remember that we talked about that there are different methods of accessing the values. So one of the method is that by using this URL, and also we have sent that one of the message that you can send any message. And this right now is running for me. And we can see that if you talk about only 9,000, so it's running as welcome to Express. If you talk about, if I go and I do about, so this will open up the about us page. And again, if I pass a dynamic parameter, so it will just accept that parameter as a part of URL and then run that one as well. All right. So now what we are talking about is as per our lecture, we have to talk about serving static files. It's something very interesting. So static file serving refers to responding back to a client for a request to a static resource. So if you have static resources, those resources which do not change, which have their, they are like images, like you have some files that you don't want to, that won't be changing. So if it's an image, so image will always be an image. So if you just take out that image, it will be good. A static resource is a resource or file that's not going to change and is required as a part of the content of the site. So it's not changing, but of course, when you will be just sending back the response to the user, that will become the part of it. So the perfect examples are images and CSS files. Of course, images and CSS files, they usually don't change. And what you do is that you will just try to put them as a static, resource and then sending them on request. So, and loading on the page. We can't make a route handling loading each image from the website. That would be tedious and impossible to maintain. Instead, it would be better to just specify a folder that contains all static resources and allow Express to handle sending those files back to the client when they are requested. So in summary, what we are saying that we will be just creating one folder for the static content, and then we will be just storing our all static content into that folder. And after storing that folder, storing that content, what we'll be doing is whenever user will request for that, we will just quickly go there and we'll access that specific resource out of it, and and then you can just work on that specific resource. So again, that would be the static resource. So there's a complete on their website, they have given just complete on service ready file for the information. So it's a simple example over here. Now, if we just define this app.use express.static, so this is what we are defining. We are saying we are asking app to use the static content from the folder is static. I'll give you that example. Set up the static folder that static resources can load from, like images, CSS files, etc. So let's add this line to our program, which we were already running, which we are already working on. So let me just open that up. And at the very top, I'll go and just add that one. So maybe at the very, not exactly here, rather after our app. Right, so app.use static folder is static. And now here I need another thing to do. And what is that? That I will be needing a folder over here. So I'm creating a folder, static over here. So now we have this static folder. And inside this static folder, we can put any images. And let me just bring out one of the image that is static image from somewhere, in unsplash.com, you have this like free pictures over there. Sky, I'm just taking a picture of a sky. So we need to just, mention that person who has taken that, for example, and if you just tribute them. So this is a photo by someone on Unsplash. So we'll just need to tribute that. So again, you can tribute that when you are using. So now I have this picture and I'll just cut it from here and I'll put that in my folder, which is yes, this one is our class codes in this week 4, and this is static. So I have to put that one into the static folder. And let's rename that as well, because this will be difficult to remember, of course. So I'm just calling it my picture. No, not my picture. It's not mine. Unsplash, right? Unsplash. And hopefully it will be a .jpg. So yes, so what we have done is that we have just created a folder, static, and we have got one picture inside it, unsplash.jpg. So what we need to do now, so we have added that code. The static string does not become the part of URL in this example. It is just specifying the express to where to find the server static resources from. So it will be just telling us that there is a static resource, which is a static folder, and you go over there and find out the resources over there. Now we can put our images in CSS files. We have already put them. Try adding an image to a static folder, including it an element to the main route response. So now what you can do is that you can just check that one out. Let me just do that for you. For example, let's talk about when you are replying to about resource. Let me just add that somewhere as .send, right? And let me just send img src equal to, so a single quotation, unsplash.jpg, and let's set up a width and height, because sometimes width and height becomes a problem. Equal to 100, single quotations, and I've just closed that, and I've closed this one, and I've closed the image tag. Looks like I have given the wrong thing. I will do that, something like that. Let's see if it works or not. So let's run that. Our Express server is running. I'll have to just stop that, and in today's video, I'll just let you know that how you can just install that nodemon, and you can work on that nodemon. And that will make us more and more interesting. So this is welcome to Express. And now if I go to about, it should show the picture like so. So it's showing us the picture, and right. So now what's happening is that, like, we have got this picture Unsplash, and this picture is coming from where? Like, this pic is coming from what? Static folder, and we are just using this static folder and installing and using this static picture over here, right? So what we can do is that we can just place our all static components, static contents, be it like our JPG pictures, be it like maybe anything else. We will be just placing that inside this in that static folder maybe, and we are basically accessing that static folder from over here, right? So this is one good way of accessing, or one good way of having static resources. So that was basically related to the the static resources. Let me just go back and let's talk about middleware. But before going into the middleware, I wanted to talk quickly about nodemon, which I said that here, whenever we are making any changings, after making those changes, we need to just save that, and we need to just run that one over again. Welcome to Express. So if I say one more time, I'm saying welcome. I just send. So now if I save this, I need to just stop the server first and then run the file again. Node app adjuster server running, and now my file will be updated. So that is a cumbersome task, and I need to do something. I need to use something which does this automatically for me. Now, for that, what I want from all of you is that I'm just stopping that. I'm just making it a bit bigger so that you can see everything. Now, what we want to do is that we want to install nodemon. Nodemon is what? Let's first install that, and then we'll just talk about it. So you can just install nodemon, and you can do one safe dash dev, because we want to make it a development dependency. If you install that, and let's have a look at our package.json file, what changes it gets when it's installed. Okay, so do you see here that now it has added one development dependency, because we installed that by using dash dev, right? Dash save dash dev. So it has added that development dev dependency, and now we have got this nodemon as one of the dependency being run over here. Now I want you to just run another thing, and you will after that we will be very good at that. So we have to just create a script watch, and here we need to mention nodemon. Typically it is a app.js that we mention here, but again, as app.js is basically already being mentioned over here in our main, so we don't need to do that. Just one thing that I need is a comma over here. Now see that, now we have got this nodemon, which might be taking care of what we were trying to do since a long time. Now, if I want to run that, how I'll run that? Npm run watch. This watch is our script that we have saved over here, and now I want to run this script. If I do that, okay, you see that nodemon is running, and now server is running. Now let's see what happens now. If I say that I want to change something, and as I said that now I want to just make it again to welcome back express with nodemon, so that just to see that's different. I saved it, and you see, if you see at the bottom that my right, so that my like the server is restarting by itself, and if I just go and check that file, you will see that that file is basically now updated with nodemon. So I don't need to run it over and over, and I don't need to, what I can do is that just make the changings over here, and after making the changings, and you can just have, for example, in that ID parameter as well. If I go and if I say that this is an automatic ID, etc., whatever, and you just save that, and you see that your server starts running again and again. So that means now we are safe from again and again running that server again and again, just putting up all those things, and we can always do that. So this is one thing that we can just basically handle. And there are certain configurations of nodemon also. I'll just let you know if needed at some point of time. If I'll be needing, I'll be just letting you know those changes. So whenever you get you do something change, for example, you see that I want to change this log message, that new log, and I save this one. Whenever I save, so again you see that that it has to be. So now this new log will appear, of course, when I'll just visit that. So this is coming up with a nodemon. Now, if you come up over here, you see new log twice because I just clicked on twice over there. Right. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that has given us a very good thing that now we don't need to run it over and over. Rather, we will be just running it one time, and this will be just running. Nodemon will be taking care of everything. Now we have to just we can just make some changings. We can delete that, and we'll just save that. And you see that whenever you save something, it will just quickly start running by itself. So this is what, so we have discussed a few things in this part of the video, and I will be just making another video for the middleware. I'm just stopping this one over here. And I want you to just concentrate on this static components over here, and also as well as how to run our file by using nodemon. So let's meet in the other file, like other video.